Hello people, Marina back for another video. We are going to talk about this book, Touch My Blood by Fred Khumalo. You guys. After reading Reclaiming the Soul by Rosimotene, I wondered if I really wanted to keep on reading autobiographies or memoirs or stuff like that. But I couldn't help it. I had to read this one. And I'm glad I picked it up. Ended up giving it 5 stars on Goodreads. In this autobiography, whenever he talks about himself, he also talks about the country. Because everything that happened in his life was happening because of the state of the country, because of the laws of apartheid. He doesn't linger on what the system of apartheid was, but what he does à la perfection is the description, is that he described what was going on in the political system, the black political system. So he talks about the ANC, of course, UDF, I think it is, and the other one is Inkatha. And the Inkatha party was like the Zulu party in the beginning. So they were supposed to protect the Zulu people, and Fred Khumalo himself, of course, is Zulu, and you will learn much about the Zulu tradition, the Zulu culture, the link in the, the Zulu people, how some of them left South Africa to go establish themselves to the now Zimbabwe. Back in the day, it was Rhodesia and stuff. You will learn a lot about the country and the tradition. This is what I love when I read books, discovering things, learning things. Well, you can talk about you and tell us much more about your people. You can talk about what was going on in your life, and in the meantime, tell us what was going on politically, what influenced your choices and your upbringing. And that's exactly what Fred Khumalo does. It starts in the 70s. He was born in the 60s, right? His memories of his childhood start in the 70s. And through his storytelling, we also see how the apartheid system is changing and evolving, how the people in the country, even the black people, are changing. And what really pleased me or seduced me or really had me enticed all along was the fact that we are seeing how politically prepared or unprepared the black community was, how the white men eventually went further into destroying even their belief in their freedom. Because the Inkatha, I'm not going to give it away to you, but you need to read the autobiography, and some of you may just Google it to try to know what the Inkatha political party was or is, and what they did, who founded it, and who helped them gain the power that they had back in the day, and who they betrayed somehow to achieve what they were trying to do, to reign over their own people. So I really loved it. He talks about his love life also, goes into details without it being too gossipy, without it being like, I didn't feel like I was spying him or I was seeing too much or hearing too much. It was just being honest. It was like having a conversation with your brother or having a conversation with somebody you can trust. He doesn't describe himself as somebody perfect. You see his flaws and his weaknesses. If he needs to cry, then he cries. If he's not strong enough when he's beaten, he's going to tell you, oh, I was beaten that day. He's just a human being, is a normal guy. This is not a superhero, and I loved it. Because sometimes you read autobiographies and you're like, he's only telling the positive things that happened in his life. No, Fred Khumalo gives you everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the not so glorious. Everything is in there. And I loved it because I know that no white man, even if he was sharing the pain, even if he was an aliyah, could have described this period the way he did, could have invited us into the KwaZulu or anywhere else in the Bantustan the way he did. Okay, so do I recommend this one? I highly do. I bought Bitches Brew on the spot because I love his storytelling. He has a way with words. Of course, he's a journalist. and it's going to tell you how he became one and why. In this autobiography, you see also how this system of apartheid destroyed so many good people, the good minds, you know, the thinker, the doers, and all these people were destroyed by the oppression of the government, and they were also destroyed by their own people who couldn't see value or who couldn't see the importance of having different thinkers. They didn't agree to disagree, and that was, I think, one of the reasons why they lost the battle. You know how I do my review. I don't like giving you too much information. My aim is for you to buy the book, read it, and then we can have an open discussion, even a private one. I love discussing books with my readings, actually, with those who have read the book also, because I feel freer to talk about everything without it being a spoiler. But one thing I can tell you for sure, if it is the point of view of a black man that you want to have, or if you want to see South Africa through the eyes of an innocent black boy growing up in apartheid South Africa, then yes, you have a good one. And you also want to know much more about the political system in the black community. It was even a tribal kind of thing. As I said, Inkatha was linked with the Zulu people, as ANC was linked to the Xhosa people. It's weird, but that's the way it goes. And sometimes I was like, oh, you could have done better. I include myself in there because I feel like in every African country, we are always facing the same kind of problems. We tend to follow people because of their ethnicity more than because of their ideas. Sometimes we don't even listen to them, or we don't even question what they are trying to do. We just follow them because, oh, they are from the same tribe my father and mother are from, so they want my good. No, most of the time politicians, or if not most of the time, all the time, politicians do things for their sake, for their good, for their fame and money. They don't care about you. The way the Inkatha party became powerful is questionable, and it doesn't leave room for you to question yourself. You really are convinced of what he says. But as we are curious mind, we always Google things nowadays. Okay, so it will be up to you to Google it. But first, read it as the story of an innocent boy, showing you how his country is, what they went through, and all the battles that they fought to be where they are today. Did they overcome all this pain, or are they still struggling? Are they still fighting? Because when I was reading it, I was seeing like the premises of what we now call the xenophobia. I feel like xenophobia was there from the beginning. It was there, but they just didn't know how to put a finger on it because they had many more important things to do, things that were much more important back in the days. Nowadays, they are facing all the devils that they thought that they have casted away during that period of struggling. But that's when it all started. I really love, I will highly recommend you this one. You know, I kept this book. I didn't want it to end. Go for this. Touch My Blood. And it's only 193 pages, so quick read. You don't want to rush while reading this one because, as I said, you have a lot of information regarding the Zulu culture, because he is a Zulu guy, a Zulu boy. So yeah, you want to learn. You might just end up writing down things, and you will Google certain things also if you're not from South Africa, or if you're as curious as I am, you will search for more. But everything it gives you is complete, and I loved it. You can tell your story and still talk about your country. You can tell your own story and talk about your family and still pay attention to what's going on in the country. Still be informed about what is being done and why the things are being done in the country while you're going through your going-throughs. Okay? And it does it. It's rich. So yeah, I recommend this one to you. Give it a try. You won't be disappointed. Touch My Blood. Fred Khumalo. Voila, that was it for me today. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.